Listen. Let the shadows lean in. Let the silence grow tall. Let the air hum with the weight of what you've done, because once again, you've shattered the limits they built around you. Once again, you've walked through the storm barefoot, burned, battered, and came out untouched by the fire that swallowed the rest. This isn't luck. This isn't accident. This is something else. Something colder. Something clearer. It's not just talent. It's hunger. It's that fire deep in your chest that refuses to die no matter how many times they try to stamp it out. And now they look at you, again, speechless, confused, angry even, whispering in rooms they never wanted you to enter, wondering how do you keep coming back? How do you keep doing this? Before we go further, take a moment. If this hits you deep, if something inside is waking up right now, then don't just watch this and vanish. Subscribe, like, comment below what you've been fighting for. Not just because it helps, but because this is a place for the ones who don't quit, the ones who rise. This is your corner of the map. Mark it, own it, share it with someone who forgot what they're capable of. Wake them up, and then come back here, stronger, louder, sharper. Now breathe, because this isn't about proving them wrong anymore. That was the old game, the small game, the shallow one. This is about proving something deeper, something truer to yourself, that no matter how many times the world tries to fold you back into its grey routine, you'll rip through the seams. You've already done it, again. And the world? It doesn't know what to do with people like you. People who don't crack under pressure, they crystallize. People who don't fade in the dark, they sharpen in it. People who take rock bottom and turn it into raw material, tools, weapons, foundations. See, the thing they'll never understand, the thing that makes them lose their minds, is that you don't stop when you're tired. You stop when the job is done. And that scares them, because most people are running from pain. You ran through it, eyes forward, teeth clenched. No permission, no applause, just that terrifying silence where something legendary, Bajderi, Ijai is being built. And this time, it was you. Let them talk, let them spiral, let them try to decode you like some unsolvable puzzle. Because what you've done, again, it wasn't meant to make sense to them. It was only meant to make history. You didn't ask for a crown, you forged one. You didn't wait for the door to open. You broke it down and built your own hallway. And now they sit back, hands shaking, voices cracking, wondering how someone like you keeps showing up like this. And the truth, the real truth, you didn't come to be seen. You came to change the temperature in the room, the frequency, the pace, the rules. And if you're hearing this and your heart's thumping louder than ever, good. That's the signal. That's the war drum. That's the call forward. Because this is not the peak. This is just the echo of another beginning. You're not done. You're dangerous. Because you've tasted momentum now. You've seen what happens when you stop shrinking and start expanding. When you stop asking and start claiming. When you stop doubting and start deciding. You did it again. And that's not the end of the sentence. That's the start of the storm. They'll try to catch up. Let them. They'll try to label it, ignore them. They'll try to copy it. Let them embarrass themselves because they missed the point. This isn't just achievement. This is a pattern, a rhythm, a new law of gravity where you are the pull, not the planet. They come orbiting around what you've built, what you've broken, what you've bent to your will. You are not a visitor here. You are the architect. You didn't follow footsteps, you made new ones. And they're still trying to figure out how. They think it's about motivation. It's not. It's about memory. You remember what it felt like to be overlooked. You remember the taste of almost, of silence, of rejection letters and locked doors and empty hands. You remember standing in front of the mirror trying to convince yourself that maybe, just maybe, it'll all make sense one day. And now it does. Now you're the evidence, the living, breathing reminder that persistence isn't pretty, but it's undefeated. That pain isn't permanent, but pride can be. And here's the dark part, the part they'll never say out loud. They needed you to fail. They were counting on it, because your rise makes them question their own stillness. Your fire makes their comfort feel like a cage. Your momentum turns their excuses into dust. And now they're unraveling, not because you succeeded, but because you keep doing it, again and again and again. How the hell do you keep doing this? You built something in the silence that can't be undone in noise. You built a mind that doesn't wait for the weather to change. You trained for the storm. You built a soul that doesn't need claps to keep moving. You kept walking when no one was looking. You didn't chase the spotlight. You became the light. This isn't for everyone. Not everyone can carry that kind of fire without burning out. Not everyone can fail and show up again with blood on their hands and a grin on their face. Not everyone can fall without folding. But you did. You still do. And now they can't ignore it anymore. So here's what you do next. You stay dangerous. Stay focused. Stay unshaken. They will come with distractions, praise, poison, envy, imitation. Don't blink. Don't soften. Don't explain yourself to those who've never walked through your night. You don't owe them understanding. You owe them nothing. Let your work speak. Let your actions be the roar in a world full of whispers. Let your presence shake the walls without saying a word. You did it again. And next time, when they doubt, when they roll their eyes, when they try to rewrite your story, remind them, you're not here to be remembered. You're here to be impossible to forget. You did it again, and the world can't look away. They try to dismiss it, minimize it, wrap it in excuses. Say you got lucky, say it was timing, say someone helped you. They invent reasons because the real reason is too uncomfortable. You didn't ask, you didn't wait, you didn't hope, you moved. You acted, and that breaks their pattern. That shatters their comfort, because deep down, they know. They had the same 24 hours, the same chances, the same fears, but they chose to stop. You didn't, and now they see you rising. Not once, not twice, but again and again. You keep showing up like a riddle they can't solve, and it keeps them up at night. Because there's something terrifying about someone who doesn't stop at success. Someone who treats a win not like a finish line, but like a warm-up. That's you. That's what you are now. The warm-up is done. The real storm is coming, and you are the eye of it. Calm, cold, relentless. This is bigger than just one win. This is a declaration. It's a signal to the ones watching from the sidelines that the world doesn't reward wishes. It rewards workers. It's a warning to the ones who doubted you, dismissed you, disrespected you, that you don't disappear. You evolve. You return sharper, heavier, more dangerous, more direct. Every fall was just a rep, every setback, fuel. You learn to love the climb, to crave the pressure, to bend under weight and rise even stronger. Do you hear it? that quiet panic in their voices when they speak your name. That's not hate, that's recognition. That's fear in disguise. Fear of your focus, fear of your pace, fear of your ability to take what they thought was theirs. You didn't just play the game, you rewrote the script. You ripped out the middle chapters and started from the ending. You didn't ask for their seat at the table. You built a new table, bigger, stronger, one they're not even sure how to sit at. And the ones who laughed, they're quiet now, because they remember when you were the one in the back, head down, out of place, misunderstood. They remember when you didn't speak much, when your hands were trembling, but your eyes were set. They remember thinking you'd burn out, fade out, tap out. But now, you're the flame, you're the weight, you're the sound in the silence. They speak carefully now, because they know every word they said is a brick in the monument you're still building. And here's the thing no one's ready for. You're still hungry. You haven't peaked. You haven't even reached full form. This version of you is just the beginning. You're still sharpening your edge, still tightening your grip, still stacking days when others are wasting them. They don't see the hours you put in while they sleep, the tears you swallowed while they scrolled, the promises you made in private that you kept in the dark. That's what they don't get. This isn't about being seen. This is about becoming undeniable. And you are. You are no longer trying to prove your worth. You are proof itself. Proof that resilience wins, that patience pays, that pain, when channeled right, becomes power. You did it again, and the air changed. People talk differently around you now. They measure their words. They study your moves. Because when someone keeps rising, the wise ones take notes. The jealous ones throw shade, and the silent ones start watching very closely. But you don't respond. Don't react. Keep building. Because the real ones don't need to scream to be heard. The real ones let the results echo long after the noise fades. You're not here to argue with opinions. You're here to dominate facts. And the fact is, you keep doing it. You keep breaking through walls. You keep waking up when the rest are drifting. You keep growing in the places most people rot. And that's not luck. That's legacy. You are legacy in motion. You are the slow burn that outlasts, the quick spark. You are the marathon in a world full of sprints. You are discipline disguised as madness. And while they panic, compare, spiral, you just execute, quietly, strategically, with cold intent and blazing purpose. You've stopped looking around for validation. You've stopped asking permission to be great. And now you walk like you know who you are. And that walk, that quiet confidence, that's the loudest sound they've ever heard. So here's the truth. They'll never say out loud. They admire you, even the ones who mock you, even the ones who copy you, even the ones who act like they've never heard of you. Because every time you do it again, every time you rise from the dirt with dust in your mouth and fire in your eyes, they see the mirror. They see what they could be if they didn't quit, if they didn't fold, if they didn't wait for the world to approve of their greatness. But you didn't wait. You built, you bled, you buried the old self 100 times to make room for the next evolution. And now you've done it again. You've become the version they never thought you could be, not because they hated you, but because they never had the vision to see who you really are. You're not the hero. You're the storm the hero has to survive. You're not the underdog. You're the blueprint. You're not the one who's lucky. You're the one who earned every inch, every scar, every step, without flinching. And the next time they ask you, "How the hell do you keep doing this?" look them in the eyes. Don't explain. Don't answer. Just keep going. Because legends don't waste time on small talk. They build, they break, they rise, and then they do it again. And still, you rise. Not louder, but heavier. Not faster, but more precise. There's a cold calm in your movement now, a terrifying stillness. Because when you've done it again, when you've beaten the odds enough times, you stop reacting and start predicting. You begin to see the moves before they happen. You start building before others even realize there's a blueprint. That's the stage you're at now. You don't celebrate prematurely. You don't shout for attention. You walk through victories like you've seen bigger ones before, because you have. And while they scream about their peaks, you're already scanning the next mountain. You've made a life out of forward motion. No medals, no confetti, just relentless, measured ascent. You carry your own silence like a weapon now, the silence of self-trust, the silence of someone who no longer needs to convince anyone, because you know what it took. The nights with no sleep, the mornings with no motivation, the days that broke you just to see if you'd bend. You remember them all. You carry them like armor, not baggage. Because pain taught you what comfort never could. Pain was the classroom. Doubt was the teacher. Rejection was the assignment. And now you're passing every test with answers they can't even read. You did it again. And most people still won't understand. Because they weren't there for the 1,000 silent days. They weren't there when you built momentum brick by brutal brick. They didn't feel the weight in your chest when everything was quiet and no one believed. But you did. You believed just enough to keep going one more time, to rise one more time, to fight one more round. That's the difference. Not talent, not background, not connections. Just the decision to take one more step when everything in your body said stop. And now they watch you like a phenomenon, like something unnatural. Because you don't stop, you don't fold. You just keep showing up with that look, that steady gaze that says, "I'm not done yet." And the scariest part, you're still not close to done. What you've done, again, is only the beginning. The sparks of a much greater burn, because now you understand the cycle. You understand the blueprint. You know what it takes. You know how to fall. You know how to rebuild. You've turned rock bottom into a sanctuary. You've made pressure your favorite environment. They think it's about ambition. It's not. It's about identity. This is who you are now. The one who rises, the one who keeps going, the one who does the impossible, repeatedly, until it becomes your normal. Your ground floor is someone else's ceiling, and you're already thinking about what comes after that. So what's next? Everything. Everything they said you couldn't do. Everything you once whispered to yourself when no one was listening. Everything that still scares you, especially that. Because fear no longer stops you, it guides you. Fear is the new compass. You've learned that the things worth having sit right behind the things you're most afraid of. And now, when you feel that fear rise, you don't retreat. You move toward it, into it, through it, because that's where the real treasure is. That's where the truth lives. You did it again, and now you've become the reason others believe it's possible. You didn't just break limits, you redefined them. You became the exception. And that's the most dangerous thing a person can be, the one who breaks the pattern. Because now others see it, they feel it, they ask, if they did it, what's stopping me? And the answer? Nothing. Nothing but the old voice in their head. the same voice you silenced. This is your reminder. You're not half finished. You're evolving. You're mutating into something they never prepared for. Not because you're lucky, because you're chosen. Not by fate, not by destiny, but by your own choices. Every time you showed up, every time you stayed quiet and built, every time you said no to the distraction, every time you got up with sore bones and tired eyes and kept moving anyway, that's what chose you, and you chose it back. So where does it go from here? Wherever you decide. That's the beauty now. There are no rules for you anymore. The cage is gone. The map is gone. You've outgrown the blueprint. You're not walking paths. You're leaving them. You're not waiting for opportunity. You're creating it. You're not hoping for impact. You're becoming it. They'll keep asking, how the hell do you keep doing this? But now the answer is simple. Because you became the thing they said you couldn't. Because you refused to stop when others did. Because you chose discipline over attention. Because you made peace with pressure. Because you found power in pain. Because you don't just rise, you return. Every single time. Let them keep wondering. Let them keep calculating. Let them keep talking. While you keep building. While you keep rising. While you keep doing it. Again and again and again. Until the world stops asking how and starts accepting who you are. You did it again. Now do it again. So now we stand at the edge of it. At the edge of this moment, this movement, this message that refuses to be ignored. And here's the truth that echoes the loudest, even in silence. You did it again. Not once. Not by chance. Not as a fluke. You did it because you became the kind of person who does. Let that sink in. This wasn't magic. This wasn't a miracle. It was a pattern, a choice, a mindset so relentless that the world had no option but to yield. And while they watched from behind glass walls of comfort, you carved your path through fire, not to be seen, but to become. And you did, again. And now, with the dust settling and the noise still swirling, you're left with the most powerful thing of all, clarity. Clarity that you don't need applause to be significant. Clarity that you don't need recognition to be legendary. Clarity that you are no longer waiting to be chosen, invited, or approved. Because you already did the one thing most never will. You decided. You decided you were done being overlooked. Done being ordinary. Done being explained away. You decided to get serious, to get disciplined, to get dangerous. With your time, your energy, your belief. You did it once. You did it again. And now, it's undeniable. This is who you are. A cycle breaker, a momentum builder, a standard raiser. You no longer rise to the occasion. You rise and bring the occasion with you. So let them talk. Let them whisper, question, watch, and wait. Let them lose their minds trying to figure out how you keep doing it. But you already know the answer. It lives in your actions. It breathes in your process. It hides in your discipline. It grows in your solitude. And it shouts in your results. Because you're not chasing greatness anymore. You're embodying it, living it, setting it. And the ones who once doubted you, they'll look back one day and realize they weren't watching a moment. They were witnessing a movement. You are the movement. You are the storm that never needed thunder to be heard. The force that never needed a stage to be seen. The name they tried to forget, but couldn't. The fire they tried to put out, but spread. The voice they tried to silence, but now echoes in every room they enter. You did it again. And now you keep going, you keep evolving, you keep becoming. Not for them, not for applause, not for the headlines, for the person in the mirror who never gave up, because that's who this was always for. So step forward, quiet, certain, steady, and when they ask, when the world asks you one more time, how the hell do you keep doing this? You smile and you say nothing, because by then the results will speak so loudly you'll never have to.